other commissioners. Anthony there, he's going to be dealing with tech stuff, and Cornell walking around for anybody's accessibility needs. So flag him down in any way that you can if you have any issues or need assistance with anything. Before anything, we acknowledge that this debate is taking place on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, which, to the current knowledge of the Society, includes the Squamish, Musqueam, Stolo, and Tsleil-Waututh. I'm really excited about the debate today, and I hope you are all too. First, I just want to make some things clear and talk about procedure for the debate. The order of the debate shall go as follows. At-large reps, applied sciences, arts and social sciences, business, communications, then we'll have a short break, go to referendum questions, education, health sciences, and science. We'll begin with reading aloud the statements of candidates who are not able to be present for the debate, and those were sent in ahead of time. In future, if any of you won't be able to attend one, we'll read aloud a statement submitted to us at least 24 hours in advance. Each candidate will get a 30-second intro statement and a 30-second closing statement. After the intro statements, each candidate will get the chance to either pose a question to one candidate or to all candidates, in which they get 1 minute to reply, and the question asker gets a 1-minute rebuttal. After all candidates have asked a question, we will move on to audience questions. Each position will have a maximum time of 20 minutes, so we will fit in as many audience questions as possible within that time frame. If you want to ask a question, please line up on either side of the seating here, and then we'll call you to the middle. I'll put my hand up and count down from 5 during the last 5 seconds of time allotment, at the end of which candidates will be cut off. Please keep in mind the IEC retains the right to refuse any questions from both the candidates or audience if they're inappropriate, defamatory, discriminatory, or attack a candidate in any way. If the IEC deems a question inappropriate, the audience member or candidate will get one more chance to ask another question. Please remain respectful, and there will be no problems. Should you be disrespectful to any IEC members or other candidates during the debate, you will simply be asked to leave. If you have any accessibility concerns or needs, Cornell is here for your assistance. He'll be walking around, so please flag him down in any way you can if you're needing assistance with anything. Lastly, all candidates must sign a release form provided by the IEC for consent to release video, audio, and photography. They're provided at the table here, so just when you come up for your position, sign it and leave it there. This is because CJSF and the Peak are covering the event, and we're providing live streaming and video recording. Please be informed that if you want to ask a question, you may be recorded. We are considering your consent unless otherwise noted. If this is a concern, you may flag down Cornell and he can ask the question on your behalf. For candidates, no questions can be insulting to another candidate. Questions should focus on electoral issues and never personally attack another candidate. Positivity in the language use is essential. Please make sure the conduct is professional and respectful. For students, please ask the most important questions first, as priority will be given to students who have not previously asked a question to the candidates as the debate proceeds. Questions which have already been asked will not be allowed to be repeated to a candidate. If you are unsatisfied with the answer to a candidate given that they gave to a question, you are not allowed to ask the same question again to elicit a different answer. Priority for questions is given to registered students in good standing with the Student Society. And with that, I'll call up all the at-large representatives. Someone will have to share a mic. That's okay.
DK, you want to share?
So yeah, if you guys could just quickly fill out those forms and leave them at the front of the table, I'll come and grab them later. Okay, if everybody's ready, we'll start left to right with opening statements. And again, I'll put up my hand for the last 5 seconds.
Hello. Is that good?
Yep.
Cool. So glad everyone could make it out today. My name is Jaggy Kullar. I'm running for at-large representative in the SFSS elections this year. If elected, I hope to connect, engage, and build with the students of SFU to ensure there are more opportunities in academics, as well as make assistance available for financial needs and for health and counseling in specific. We also, or me and the candidates, never mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi guys, good morning. My name is Khehra. I'm also running for the at-large position from the Bridge the Gap slate. I'm running for this position because I feel like there's been a huge inconsistency within the SFU, SFSS, and the student body at large. I will bridge the gap that is currently dividing all 3 of these big sectors. The SFSS, although a wonderful organization, has failed to do its job in connecting the students in the past, especially in this year when looking at the electoral candidates and the past election results, and we will bridge that gap. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you all for attending. My name is Mudiwa Bwakura, but most people know me as BK. I'm a 4th-year student here, and I'm also running for the at-large representative position with the SFSS in this year's election. My main platform points are a safer campus, better transparency of communication, and greater support for student-led initiatives. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me after the debate. And remember, vote connected.
Hello, can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Hans. I'm also a 4th-year student represent in science and business. And I'm here with the Connected Slate. Just for my platform, I would like to focus on the 4 pillars within the FSS. So academic, well-being, financial, and just helping to create a connected campus. Please vote connected and make an educated decision. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Moein Sharifi Moghaddam. I think I'm the only independent electoral candidate running for at large this year. My main platform is to support student-led initiatives and also help students to have a better academic and social experience during their time in university, and also provide more support for students during a time of crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, we'll start left to right, and each candidate can pose 1 question to another candidate or pose a question to all candidates. And sorry, quickly. And if one candidate doesn't get asked any question at all, the IEC has prepared a question, so everybody gets a chance to talk.
Okay, so this question, the first question I have is for BK. You've held a position of leadership before in a super big organization. What did you do there that's relevant to this position you're running for?
1 minute rebuttal.
Sorry?
1 minute rebuttal.
Yeah, so you get 1 minute response, and then you'll get a 1 minute rebuttal if you choose.
Could I also ask for clarification?
Yep.
Are you talking about the fraternity?
Yes.
Right. So, for those of you that are not aware, I was the risk management officer for Tau Kappa Epsilon for a period of 1 calendar year. I was also the president for 1.5 years. During my experience as a fraternity president as well as a risk management officer, I gained a wide range of risk management protocols, being able to communicate with people effectively with regards to mitigating risks and making sure that things were handled properly. In my years as a president, not only was I able to help balance books, make sure that my members were also okay socially, academically, and mentally as well. We were able to foster not only a culture of progressive thinking and development amongst our membership, but we were also able to sort of spread that basic ideology through our various events on campus. And we essentially help make things a lot easier for other students. Thank you.
And you get a 1 minute rebuttal if you choose.
I think the one thing that might be missing from that is connecting that social organization to the other organizations on campus. So including big organizations we really focus on here, like the Women's Center, for example. I think that connecting and engaging with the students is really, really important to get them to come out and vote, to get them to nominate themselves to run for these positions, because without competition, without proper representation, we're not really doing our job as a board of directors. So I feel like social connectivity is super important. Thank you.
My question is for Paul. Paul, you ran for the elections for Senate last year and you won, so congratulations on that. Of your 3 main points that you enlisted in your campaign, 2 of them were that you will decrease the commuting time from here to Surrey, meaning that you will have the 145 bus come more frequently, and that you will increase student engagement. For the 145, me or neither of the students at SFU have seen much of a change. And as for the student involvement, there's been a decrease in student involvement, especially when you look at the election this year. There's only 2 main slates running, and there's only a few unrepresented students running. This is a drop from last year where there was 45 candidates running, and this year is only 23. This is an almost decrease in half the student involvement. How can you be held accountable for your promises that you're making for this election?
Can I reply? Well, I'm glad you did your homework, Alan, going back to 2015 or 2014 or whatever that was. As I do recall, I did not say I would specifically decrease the community time, but we'd advocate for such issues. For example, we ran a campaign last year, as you can see, from Surrey students with the buses everywhere and new bus routes. Especially, there was a problem last year with the 145 always skipping this bus stop down here. And that issue has now been resolved by contacting TransLink, and members of the board have also been working specifically for that. And next, you talked about student engagement. There are several ways to measure student engagement. If you just look at an election, sure, student engagement has gone down. But as you are aware, I am the current Senate representative on the Advocacy Committee, and our job is to engage the student body, advocate for their issues and their concerns, and I believe we have done so. Specifically, for example, we have led on the Advocacy Committee environmental campaigns, health and well-being, working along with High Five.
Thank you. And a 1-minute rebuttal?
Am I allowed a question back?
You can only do a rebuttal.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my question is for all the candidates. Given that the SFSS is such a complex organization, not only with regards to the various committees, but also with regards to its specific activities, my question would be, which committees do you plan to join and why?
I'd like to answer that by saying I'd like to most specifically join the events committee. I feel like that's because events on campus are super important in order to engage students, to get them to connect with each other, to network with other organizations. By joining the events committee, I feel like I'd be able to help create more events on campus that are more accessible and more popular for a large number of students. Thank you.
I would like to join all the student unions from faculties, because we've noticed that there's a huge discrepancy in how the faculties are represented. There's a lot of student unions within the faculty itself, but I would like to join the student union, for example, the science student union and the art student union, and onwards and onwards. And from each student union, I will have one representative that talks to students from their each faculty, and this way they can communicate with the at-large reps, because no matter how much a person can say that they will talk to every single student and represent every single student, I think that's near impossible considering we have 26,000 undergrads in SFU. So the best way to do is I feel like I will join the committees that are at the very top of the chain and then have representatives from that will talk to the students and then contact back with us. Thank you.
Oh, and me? Yeah, sorry. I thought we could. So as for me, I would like to continue my work on the advocacy committee. I think we care about important social issues. For example, next month, several members will be going to Victoria to lobby on behalf of students, such as a tuition freeze, opening up a sexual assault center, things like that. I would also like to be on the events committee because, like I said, we're connected for a better campus. We would like to improve the social and well-being of the students, and I would also like to establish a health committee within the SFSS and working alongside other members, so we can have representatives from each committees, whether it be residence health committee, health and counseling, the board, and other organizations that care about student well-being and connectivity. Thank you.
Actually, my main area is to join the social event committee because I believe it's the area that can promote events that can boost social life and a good academic experience for the students. And also, I'm actually planning to establish a new committee. I have not thought about the title, but I think this committee should focus on transparency. There's a lot of services that SFSS offers, but students that don't know about them. I think we should raise public awareness to the students about the services that we offer them. Thank you.
Thank you. And is there any audience questions?
No. I'm all right.
Hello, candidates. Thank you for coming. Good job so far. My question is in regards to the Build SFU project. It's the biggest project in the history of the student society. It's the SFSS's biggest project. I think it's the best one the school's ever had. What are your feelings on it? Everyone.
I think the Build SFU project is it's super important, and it would be super. Wow, I keep saying super. It'd be really good for us as a student body. It would create more space. It would help with connectivity. It would help us network with other organizations. It would be a great place for organizations to meet, clubs to meet, for clubs and organizations to grow. So I'm all for Build SFU, and I think it would be really great for all of us, all 26,000 of us.
I also agree with the Build SFU project. I was there studying in the office yesterday. I think it's a great project, especially in the place that is being built, especially in the summer times. I think it'd be a great time for everyone to sit there and study. There's a lot of places in SFU to study, but I feel like there's still a lot of students inside of SFU. So if we have a place, especially a new place like that being built, there can be a lot of students that go there, especially in the first 2-3 months, and that'd be a great time for whoever wins this election to hold a lot of strong things that would brings the students together. There can be a lot of strong social activities from the VP of Student Life or from other clubs, and this will bring all the SFU community together, especially in a place where they all want to come see in the first time. Thank you.
Personally, I'm in favor of the project, not only because of the well-documented history that this university has with regards to student study space, but I also feel that the student union building specifically would not only offer a central hub where students can meet, engage in conversation and discussion, but it would also offer an opportunity for students to have greater access to the Board of Governors. So if they have any questions, concerns, it'll also, not only will it increase the transparency of the organization, but it'll also help engage the student body. Thank you.
I would just like to say I'm also in support of the project. Along with the Build SFU campaign last year, I helped with the outreach and such. And even in regards to health and counseling, we had our own outreach regarding the project. And specifically, we believe it's important, and I specifically believe, because it's a key priority for the board, and it increases the well-being and connectivity of students. There's more study space, more locations for food and eating. There's going to be a big platform where you can have big events, and a great place for networks and organizations to collaborate and hold events. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 .
。 . 。 . 。 .
。 .
。
I'm in favor of build a SFU project. I think it's a fabulous project that can build a really stronger network between students and it can also help clubs to build a greater connection, and which will eventually lead to a greater social life experience that currently we're lacking in SFU. I believe it can boost that exponentially. I'm definitely support that, but I would like to. Once I get elected, I would like to take a closer look at the Build SFU project and probably work on it and add extra features to make it, to even improve it.
Is there any, oh, hello.
Hi, so if you don't know, I'm the current at-large representative on the Simon Fraser Student Society. I just had one question for you guys. This position is very open in the sense that you're not tied to a particular faculty. You have a very broad sense of what you can accomplish, but that's also a challenge because you don't have a lot of structure. My question is essentially, what are going to be some of the main projects you're going to focus on? Because if you don't have a main focus point, you kind of get lost in everything, which is a bit of a challenge.
So like you said, it is a very broad and general position, but one thing I would like to focus on sorry, is connecting really well with the DSUs and really making sure that faculties are represented and that their concerns, their needs, their wants, anything they want to talk about with the Board of Directors is met with and dealt with. Just because I feel like even today, one faculty is not represented at all, and that really makes it hard for the Board of Directors and the SFU community altogether to help the faculty with any concerns they might have that they're not being able to raise because they don't have anyone to go to. So being in really well, having really good communication with the DSUs and with the faculty representatives. Thank you.
I think if we want to engage all the students first have to know exactly what SFSS is. Although I do agree that a large majority of the students in the Burnaby campus do know what SFSS is, in the other campuses and even other students within SFSS, SFU I mean, don't know exactly what SFSS is or what these elections actually are. So for example, if we're campaigning right now and I go to some students and I ask them, oh, would you like to vote this or we're doing, they have no idea what we're doing. So I feel like the first thing we would have to do no matter who wins is actually talk to students about what SFSS is, maybe in the exact same way as you're campaigning for yourself right now, you would campaign for the SFSS, and then you can form an open door policy in which the students can talk with you, engage with you in any possible way. I would be the primary contact for all the SFU clubs, unions, and other sort of student-driven organizations, and I would have monthly office hours within either the SFSS over here, Vancouver, and the Surrey campus where students can come, talk about their issues, and whatever they would like to see in the SFSS. Thank you so much.
I would like to acknowledge that the at-large position is a very broad position. For that reason, I feel that it's the candidate's responsibility to zero in on the key issues that are currently facing students on campus. From what I've been personally able to identify, there is a deep-seated student concern for transparency and a lack of communication with regards to events and things of that nature. So in order to address that, I've personally decided to not only take part, to not only maintain my seat on the Events and Promotions Committee, but also to join the Governance Committee so as to help structure the SFSS's policies to make sure that students not only know exactly what the society is doing, but as well they can understand where their money is going. Thank you.
I will actually be taking a different stance from the two candidates to my right, not BK. Specifically because meeting with the DSUs, there's 73 DSUs. If you meet with one each day for 1 hour, it would take you 4 months to meet with them all. A semester meeting, you'll just get your time tied up in that and you won't be able to do anything. You try to do too much, you do nothing. This is the job of the faculty representatives. Why are we going to be having overlap, two people doing the same job and wasting valuable resources? I will be focusing on key issues specifically one such as example, as my work on health and counseling, I have noticed the need for more support for health and counseling, greater funding. To do that, to combat that issue, I will be working strongly on the advocacy committee to lobby government for greater funding. As well, I will be establishing a SFU Health Week where I can hear students' concerns and issues, and we can improve the betterment of the student population and the population that the society serves. Thank you very much.
One of the things that I believe that we're lacking is that a lot of the students don't know about the services we offer. I mentioned it earlier. I will be working harder, actually using volunteers to go on to talk to students, to talk about the services we offer. For example, what I've been talking to students, a lot of people don't know about that we have extended health and dental plan. So that's one of the things I will make sure to increase the public awareness among the students about the services we offer. And also, I will be helping on to increase the supports for students in terms of crisis. One of the things I will do is to support women center and also establish a men's center that we're lacking. And hopefully lobby with the government and other students to allocate more resources on bursaries and financial needs.
Good morning, candidates. My question for you is, what do you think the duties and responsibilities are of the at-large representative position?
I think the duties and responsibilities include having great communication with the other board members and being able to communicate with the faculty representatives as you are overseeing them, being able to pick out the certain concerns and prioritize them to figure out what needs to be done first, what needs to be dealt with first, go down the list from there, as well as being aware of all the organizations and clubs and their events on campus, to be able to attend those, to be able to connect with students and really engage the community here at SFU. Thank you.
I agree with Jaggy. I also agree that it's very important to connect with all the SFSS members and the students themselves. Like Paul said, it is very, very, very impossible to talk to every single DSU. You can talk to them through emails, though, and there's a lot of other places where students can connect with the at-large representative other than just their faculty representative. For example, there's clubs and other students that are doing things within SFSS, and they don't know exactly which faculty to talk to. For example, they might be doing a philanthropy initiative, and they could be in the business faculty. That doesn't mean they have to talk to the business representative. If they want to talk to SFSS, they can talk to someone like the at-large representative, which will represent them at all scenarios. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question. I believe the key duty of the at-large representative is to listen to students. Like I said earlier, the position has a fair bit of flexibility, so that in of itself should automatically translate to the at-large representative paying close attention to what students are asking for and helping to deliver on those demands. So as I said earlier, from what I've noticed, there's a deep-seated concern from students with regards to the lack of transparency and communication on the part of the society. So that is why I've decided to prioritize that on my platform. Thank you.
I believe the role of the at-large position is to listen to students' voice, students' issues and concerns. We, as a team of board of directors, make a decision and we implement that decision, and we listen to students' feedback and how to improve. And I think that's a very important piece, how to improve. So listening to students' issues and concerns. Specifically, I would like to focus on the 4 pillars within the SFSS: the social, the academic, the health and well-being, and the financial. And each of those are very important points, such as social connectivity, working on the events committee, academic as my role as Senate and advocating for student issues, health, such as working alongside health and counseling and promoting the well-being of students, and financial by helping students with bursaries and helping lift the financial burden of university and post-secondary. Thank you.
I believe an at-large representative should work with other faculty members to make sure that all members of the societies are well presented equally and fairnessly at the board. And also, I believe that a student at large representative should research and study which area is more urgent and needs more attention and focuses on those areas.
Can I pose a question?
Sorry?
Can I pose a question?
No, you already did yours.
I
Everybody
never
just
got a
gets
chance.
one.
Me and him never got a chance to pose a question. You stopped
Oh,
here.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I would like to pose my question to Alam. So you said you want to work beside student unions and help promote well-being. What have you already done to engage the student population and connect students already?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have been working with the, before I begin anything, I'm just going to say that obviously I don't have enough credentials as Paul because he has worked in the Senate before and he's been working along the SFSS much longer than I have. Having said that, he's also in his 4th year. I'm in my 2nd year. I've worked in the Surrey campus a lot with students in 2 clubs that I've started, and I've also helped in a lot of philanthropic initiatives. I've also worked with the PSA in involving a lot of Burnaby and Surrey students within a lot of positions. I've also been advocating the SFSS from day one with Jimmy Dhesa and Paul Hans. We've been telling everyone what the SFSS is, and I've been telling, as we tell students, they don't know exactly what SFSS is. So as we're talking about the DSUs, I'm within the science faculty and the BPK and health science and MBB. Although I do regret that I'm not within all the DSUs, I do plan on joining them once I'm in this position, and I will let all the students be represented in an equal way. Thank you so much.
No rebuttal? Okay. You can ask your question, yeah.
Actually, I believe like one of our main priorities should be supporting students in Vancouver and Surrey campus, and I feel that they are isolated comparing to students in Burnaby campus. I was wondering what is the plan of other candidates about students in Surrey and Vancouver campus, and what they will do to improve social life in those campuses. Thank you.
So that's a very valid concern. We do hold a lot of events at the Burnaby campus, and unfortunately some students at the Surrey or Vancouver campus are unable to attend. I think the best way to go about this is to take some of the big events we hold at Burnaby and not only maybe also hold them at the other campuses, but hold big events that we would generally hold here and do them at a different campus to see who actually comes out to those. And if students aren't coming out to them and they're not aware that these events exist, we need to inform them. We need to talk to students as much as possible and let them know that we do all these things at the Burnaby campus and that we want to bring that to the other campuses and get them involved and engaged so they can too, use all the opportunities that the SFSS can give them. Thank you.
I would like to. I think the best way to go about this is to represent the SFSS as a whole in all faculties. Although I do agree that Burnaby is the largest, campuses, although I do agree that the Burnaby is the largest campus and the main campus for SFU, and that we do hold a lot of events over here, which are great for a lot of students, not every single student can make it out over here, especially from a student that's only going in Surrey. Even if they're only going for the first year, I feel like they get left behind a lot, because I know a lot of people personally, I'm sure the candidates over here know a lot of people personally. From the first year, they don't know what SFSS is. A lot of events get held in the Burnaby campus, or they're taking classes only in Surrey or Vancouver, and then they get left behind. And when they come in second year, they don't know what's going on at all, and they don't want to join anymore because they feel so discouraged because there's already so many students that know what's going on, and they don't know who to ask anymore. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I believe that we need to take a more multi-layered approach. Obviously, with the efforts of EPCOM, I've sat on EPCOM recently, and there has been a push to sort of host a pub night at the Surrey campus with the brewery down there. But I also feel like other things need to be done. So particularly with regards to campus outreach. Students can't get involved if they don't know what's happening. In order for students to know what's happening, outreach needs to be expanded quite significantly. And not only that, we need to develop student spaces on all campuses, not just Surrey and Vancouver, but all campuses where students can come engage with the board so that they they again can have a better idea of what the board is doing, where their money is going, because frankly speaking, not all students want to attend events. It's like some students just want to know what's going on.
Yeah, so me personally, I would like to be working aside the Surrey Campus Committee and looking into establishing a Vancouver Campus Committee and appointing a board representative to each committee. For example, the current chair of the Surrey Campus Committee is our slate member, Prab, Bassi, and I think that the Surrey Campus Committee has done a great job outreaching to students. However, as a representative and board representatives, I will be advocating for outreach hours instead of office hours, because if you don't already know what the Simon Fraser Student Society is, you're not going to come to office hours. So if you have any issues or concerns, it's hard to relay those concerns. I will be advocating that board members at least outreach at other campuses at least once a semester to hear the concerns and issues of other students, and also by pushing to host events at those campuses, as well as possibly maybe looking into is appointing a member on each of the SFSS committees, like such as advocacy to the Surrey campus or Verna campus.
And we're going to have to go to closing statements now because we're just running over time a little bit for your guys' position. So if you want to do your 30-second closing statements.
I just want to say thank you again for coming out. And I really encourage everyone to make an informed decision this time around, as well as the fact that if I do get elected in this position, I will make sure that next year we've got more candidates running for positions and that there's not just one person running and there's no competition. I also hope to engage as many students as possible to make sure our voter turnout is a lot higher than past years. We're not doing a good job of representing the SFU's population if we've got a really low voter turnout. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming out. I'm just going to say that everyone should make a very informed decision. If you very strongly feel that you don't want to vote me or her, that's totally understandable. I feel like everyone needs to make an informed decision, and I feel like everyone sitting over here, the fact that you came out and you're listening to this debate, I feel like everyone needs to go out and tell everyone what the SFSS is, and they need to, there's a lot of blind voters, and I feel like people need to vote in a more accurate way, which can represent every single faculty and the SFSS board as a whole. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank my fellow candidates for running in this election. It's made things pretty interesting and competitive. I would just like to focus on what students need. Students have been asking a lot of the Simon Fraser Student Society in recent years, and the society has delivered on certain points, but it has also fallen short on others. My focus would be to make up the deficit. Thank you very much, and vote connected.
I would just like to thank everyone for coming out and all the candidates for stepping forward. I would just personally like to say, as an at-large member, I would like to lead, and that is the job of the board. But in order to lead, you must serve. And I would think that that board, and as personally as well, I will hear the issues and concerns of all students and relay them forward at a policy level to implement changes. And thank you just for coming out and making an informed decision. Please vote March 22nd and vote connected. Thank you.
Before everything, I would like to thank all the candidates and people who showed up and supported this election campaign. If I get elected, the first thing I will do, I will make sure that for next year, there will be more people attending at this conference exactly at the same time and more people to get involved in SFSS.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. So next I'm going to call up the applied science representatives.
Yeah, but the rest are just going to be shorter because there's like 5 people.
Yeah, exactly that. So I didn't want to be like, no, you have the same amount of time as one person. I don't think anybody's upset about it.
March 10th.
March 10th?
Yeah, next time. That's what someone.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll do it for tomorrow, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
I just want to get them.
Well, we can get them.
Thank you. Okay. If you guys are ready, we can start left to right again with opening statements. You can start your opening statement now. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alan. I'm currently the president of the Software Systems Student Society, and I'm looking to run for Faculty of Applied Science representative. I've been working closely with all the past representatives throughout the last 3 years. And I have a good idea of what my students want, and I hope to transition from president to, applied sciences rep so I can represent everyone equally. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Prashant Verma, and I'm running with Bridge the Gap Slate. I'm running for applied science representative because I feel that the past representatives haven't done enough to really engage the students and the faculty. And I believe even though they're trying to make big changes in the past, they haven't really been able to do that. And I feel that I represent the real students and can bring about the real issues within the faculty and can fix the problems. Thank you.
Okay, and if you want to present a question?
Sorry. My first question with you is, I've worked in Surrey for the last 3 years, and one of the big pain points we have is with the Build SFU project and how the Surrey voices haven't been represented as much as the Burnaby campus, because obviously the Build SFU is going to be here, or the student union building will be up here in Burnaby, and the Surrey students will also be footing part of the bill. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that, and what are you going to do about equally representing, well, Surrey and Vancouver?
Right. First of all, I feel that there is a big issue about representing both Surrey and Burnaby and Vancouver campus, since the Faculty of Applied Sciences is so split up. And I think that's one of my main concerns, is that there's not enough engagement within the faculty and within other faculties. So I believe that, yes, you're right, the Build the SFU project is being paid partially by the campus, Surrey campus, but I still believe that that's still a very important part of SFU, since it will bring us in more competitive spaces with other universities such as UBC, who have also big projects that represent their entire faculties. And I feel that even though the Surrey campus people are mostly staying in Surrey, they could still at any time come to Burnaby and still be engaged in part of the community.
And you can have a 1-minute rebuttal if you choose.
No, I'm okay.
No? Okay, and you can post a question.
Okay. From what I know is that you're in part of the class of 2016. From that standpoint, I feel that you're going to be graduating either this year or next year. And with that, my main concern is that since you're going to be busy with graduations, and how are you going to be able to represent the problems of the faculty today that you're not going to be able to face tomorrow? How personally do you feel those problems are a part of you, since you're not going to be here to face those problems yourself?
Okay. Yes, I will be probably graduating within the next year. I am going into my last year, but I have spoken with many first years and second years, as I have to work with them in Surrey as part of my executive team. So I do understand their concerns, and I have been in the same position as them, where I'm in first year, I don't know what's going on. All these projects are happening before my time as joining SFU, and I feel like engaging students and telling them about their issues and showing that I can be a good fast rep can inspire more lower years to come and join in the position and fight for their voices, even when people who have been active in the past are gone.
And a 1-minute rebuttal. And is there any questions from the audience?
Same question. Please tell me the duties and responsibilities of the Applied Sciences rep.
So for the last couple years, the Applied Science rep has been working towards creating a faculty-student union to cover all the students in the applied sciences, and we call that FASU. As president, I've had to work with all the other 3 DSUs under applied science in making this reality, because we believe that students will benefit from this, as it would be a much bigger voice as if we have a faculty-student union. So I will continue working with that, and as well as continue their governance board reform. As policies, as we had to work with, we've had to work on policies for FASU, and I think that we can translate that also to the SFSS board.
I feel that just working with exec level positions with other organizations is not enough to really bring up about the problems engaged by the SFE, the faculty students. I've been working personally with the students, and a lot of you may not know, but I'm actually fairly new to the faculty, which means I have a unique perspective upon how first-year students and new members may feel. I feel that with that, I can better represent the real problems faced by the faculty members. For example, there's a lack of an academic support system for faculties. For example, if you have the math lab over here, anybody can walk in and get help on their assignments or whatever. There's not enough of that either for engineering students or comp sci students. And I feel that that's one of the key concerns that is of the brand new members that come into the faculty. And I wish to further improve upon that by talking directly to the students instead of just talking to executive members.
Fair.
Is there any more audience questions? Okay. Okay, and if you want to start your 30-second closing statements.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. I know that it's a busy time and there's lots of classes and we're nearing the end of the semester. I'm looking forward to being elected for this position and carrying on the traditions of the SFSS board and the AppSci rep in the past. And I want to work together with all my applied sciences students to make applied sciences great again.
I feel that there's still a lot to be done within the Faculty of Applied Sciences, and I feel that past methods of approaching the problems aren't being implemented properly. And with that, I feel that me being personally a new student with a new perspective of it and being engaged more with the students, I can bring about those issues more to the Senate and to the SFS's executives. With that, I feel that I can better represent each member of the faculty. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's all for you guys. Next, we'll have the arts and social science representatives.
Erwin. Did you bring these? Do we have to fill out? Yeah, we do.
No regulations against it.
He checked.
I checked.
Yeah, definitely. We have one, but it's not big enough.
I don't know how to
Okay. Yeah, like the big one.
If you give me a second to whip over the pen.
Yeah. No worries. This is not my pen. We're good.
You're not using that. This live stream is not showing up. It says it's recording. I closed the original program by accident just to see if I could find another way. I don't know how to open it. This is going on.
It's fine. It's just...
You're next, right?
Are both of you ready?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So again, left to right, you can start with your 30-second opening statement.
Hello?
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Malhan, and I'm running to become your next Arts and Social Sciences representative. In my 4 years, I have been heavily involved with many arts initiatives, as well as worked for the university at large. Therefore, through my experiences here at SFU, I have gained a well-rounded understanding of different aspects of the university that I believe will enable me to organize our abundant resources and make them a useful part of the arts experience. Thank you.
Is it 30 seconds or? Yep. Oh, okay. So then, howdy y'all. My name is Erwin. I'm running for your Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences representative. It's my first time seeing some of you, but nonetheless, I've been involved for about 2 years now with the SFSS themselves, and I've sit on Advocacy and Events and Promotions Committee, and I'm also helping out with High Five Mental Health Awareness. Now, cut to the chase, I'm going to be helping support students based on needs-based budgeting, improve SFSS accessibility, and I'm going to be helping out with the food bank restructuring, leading to a review of other programs as well.
Thank you. And Blossom, if you want to pose a question?
Yeah. So my question is, where did I put my question? Oh, give me 1 second.
I had the same problem.
Yeah, too many things. Too many places. Okay, so as you guys know, there are 2 referendum questions this year, and one of them has to do with the UPass. So, Erwin, I wanted to ask you, how would you encourage people to come out and vote for the referendums in our faculty, since for the referendum we need a 5% voter turnout?
Absolutely. Actually, Blossom, thank you for bringing that up. I think it's really important that we actually let people know about the certain issues that are coming up, and that the referendum has a minimum limit of people, that has a minimum required amount of people to pass it. Now, having said that, that 5%, actually, we can all do our part by going about and actually speaking about it and promoting it even in our own spare time. As all candidates should be doing, we should be posting it up on our social media pages and so forth, taking this opportunity to post up information online on social media web pages, talking in person, and even advocating by going to the DSUs and so forth. Now, I've worked with the DSUs myself multiple times as the council rep for Criminology Student Association. I've also worked with like World Lit, for example, and other smaller DSUs, and I'm a strong advocate for more funding. I think I'll be talking to them as well in the near future, so I'm going to be actually talking to them and asking them how we can collaborate, and talk to Brian Fox about that as well, our Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences representative coordinator. Thank you.
And a 1-minute rebuttal?
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. We do need to tap into all those resources. Also, sometimes I just want to say emails or social media, they just go by people's, they don't watch or they don't look for that where we can get them to come out. So another really good point that you brought up is that we really just have to go out. We have to talk to people. What I found really useful is presenting in first-year classes, especially because they're large, or any large classes for that matter, and just let people know that the UPass is not something we can take for granted. It can be taken away, so we need to step up and come out and vote for it.
Can I rebuttal?
No. And you can pose a question now.
Okay, so Blossom, I believe that you'll agree with me when it comes to saying that accountability and reliability is important in a position like this. And so I was just wondering, actually, I was looking through minutes and trying to see each other's strengths and weaknesses, right? And so I apologize if I come off as rude or any sort of causing you trouble, but I've looked and I saw that in October 1st, both you and I were appointed to events committee as counselors, but after approximately within 1 month, it seemed that you were actually no longer on the events and promotions committee on the minutes. So I was wondering if you could tell me what happened behind that and so forth.
Yes. So I withdrew from that committee because I did not have time and I didn't want to just write my name down and pretend like I was there. So I did talk to Antonio, but that was something that we decided off record and not on the minutes, so that's something we can talk about if you do want to talk about it later. But with the events committee, I was also on council with you representing the arts and social sciences, as well as, you know, I've been a part of SAS, VP Student Life, and I got the chance to organize Frosh. So I have been involved, but I didn't want to do something where I knew I couldn't be there and it would just be for show. So that's why I stepped out of that.
And you can have a 1-minute rebuttal.
Yep, it's actually really great that you're a part of SAS and you were actually serving as a chief officer, I think it was, for SAS. But alas, we also all see that right now the lack of communication between SAS as an intermediary between DSUs, and the concept behind it was that they were supposed to be an intermediary between DSUs and board, because there seemed to be a disjuncture between the two, and sometimes certain smaller DSUs were feeling that they were ostracized. Now that's still occurring, and despite the fact that even then you were helping out, I feel that it wasn't sufficient. Whichever approach, angle of marketing strategies that you were doing, it just seems that we still have that same disjuncture happening even today. And we also, looking at your council, actually council as well, you were actually from records on November 26th, you had consecutive absences, and after four meetings worth of being on council, you were actually also out of council. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Can I explain that?
Unfortunately, there's just the one rebuttal.
Okay, no worries. Fair question.
Thank you. Was there questions from the audience?
No, it's good. We're good.
Good morning, candidates. Could you please tell me the duties and responsibilities of the Arts and Sciences representative?
Want to go ahead first?
I think we just want to.
Is it left to right, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I go first. Okay. So I can, okay, so, well, according to the policies here, I'm just going to go off the policies really quickly, is to be the authoritative link between the operational organization and both the members and its external stakeholders. So one of the main things I'm getting out of this is that we have to engage our student population, and as an arts representative, one of my main things would be to not only engage the whole student population, but especially focus on the arts department, because there are 28 departments and only 20 of them are established right now, and the other 8 are not active. So that's something I can focus on, that's something I can work with, and that's what I would like to, that's what I feel is my job as an arts rep, to just get everyone engaged. Thank you.
Man, she's pushing me into a corner here. So yeah, actually, when I look at the fact that you asked that question, responsibilities of a Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences representative, of course it's engage students, and looking at the new policy governance model that we're implementing, which is what I plan on following through with, we see that there's supposed to, we see the issues happening again and again and again. We see that the board members themselves aren't actually going about engaging students, and they're focusing on administrative tasks. But that's about to change. I've been helping out with the research assistant, researcher, Pierre Cassidy, in researching and helping out with formulating that new governance model. And having said that, I know that it's the main whole student, what we can do is, it's not about what we feel we should be doing. It's about what we can do by communicating with the individuals themselves. We need to go out there and actually talk to them. And of course, social media actually, if you look at the annual statistics report, was the main request for communication by students. It's all on SFSS webpage.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid answer.
Okay, and you had another question? Sorry.
Hello. So my name's Enoch, current SFSS president. Before I begin, I just want to say thanks for coming out here. First, take a deep breath, pull your microphone closer to yourselves, and smile. Okay?
I'm not smiling? Oh.
You can smile more. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, my question to the two of you is, so as you know, I'm the current SFSS president. Why should I vote for you?
Why should I vote for you? Why should he vote for me?
I think the better question is, why should Enoch endorse anyone?
No. Well, to the... so along with working for the Faculty of Arts and representing those students, there's two things that I want to focus on at large. One sort of does have something to do with arts, but the other is just something I want to focus on. And the first thing is that SAS has their own frosh, and so do the different departmental student unions. And what I like, it's huge. It takes a lot of money to get that organized, take a lot of manpower to get that organized. And if the departmental student unions are doing it on their own, I want to know, would they rather just have their own departmental student unions, and how can I help you find sponsorships and funding for that? Or would you guys rather have a bigger, just one big arts frosh where we can all get together, we can pool our resources, again, just working on organizing our resources instead of just spending more money? That's one thing I would want to focus on. And the other thing is a center for sexual assault victims or anyone that needs any kind of assistance with harassment. That's a different project I want to focus on. Time's up. Thank you.
All right, so those are actually very admirable causes, and I think that everything nowadays, so if you look in society, there's always causes everywhere that you think you can support. And I think that in our case, though, however, everything boils down to money. Money is the root of all issues, and we need actually funding for that. Now, having said that, everybody's asking for money, so what do? Well, you need to actually provide, you need needs-based budgeting. A lot of the times we've seen that arbitrary allocation of fundings in the past. If you look at all the finance budgets of the 2014-2015 year in particular, we see that certain committees and so forth have excess funding, right? But you can't actually just remove that and use it depending on the circumstances and regulations. I think we need to actually reallocate that. And at the same time, for DSUs, I'm part of the Criminology Student Association, and I plan to translate my skills in our student association being the only student association with a frosh, our own personal frosh, and to help every DSU establish one for themselves as well. Independence is key, but also collaborating.
And unfortunately, this will be our last audience question to stay within the 20-minute time frame.
You can go instead.
Okay, that's fine. Are you? Okay, I'm really sorry. Thank you.
So my question is, if you guys are elected, you have to sit on a committee. What committee do you guys intend to sit on?
Do I just go? Okay.
I think, yeah, just go.
Just go? Okay. Go ahead. So I've had a lot of experience organizing events in my past 4 years. That's just something I like to do, something I understand and get. So I feel like events committee, everyone says events committee, but I feel like I could be a useful asset there, as well as advocacy, because when I ran last year and lost, I wanted to be on the advocacy committee, and I didn't get a chance to do that. So that's something I want to do, especially if I want to work on the issues with sexual harassment, and that's one of my main issues. Actually, I don't want to say anything else to that, but yeah, that's all. Thank you.
All right, so while sitting on committees is an excellent idea, actually, I too never actually ran for board, and I've been involved with the SFSS for 2 years. I've been actually sitting on events and promotions committee as a volunteer for 2 years now. And actually, having said that, I've also moved on to being involved with the advocacy committee, and I've helped out with things such as the human, I was director of human resources for the upcoming fall kickoff concert. Now, in terms of your question, I'm planning on sitting on the Financial and Administrative Services Committee, because actually I think that addressing the deficit is an absolute necessity, and I also plan on sitting on the Constitution and Policy Review Committee because I am a research assistant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you can start your 30-second closing statement.
Yes, closing statement. Found it. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming out today. I would just like to remind everyone that it's crucial for us to come out and vote, not only for the candidates, but also for the referendum questions. So please spread the word and vote connected and vote Blossom. I just threw up the peace sign.
All right, so please remember, everyone, regardless of who you vote for, it's not about what your thoughts are. It's about what you know is going to benefit the society. It's what you know is going to benefit you and those others that have needs, right? It's what you know that is important to you in your heart. So having said that, I think I am going to support students and community with a needs-based budgeting, and that's going to address I'm going to be aiming to address the $436,344 deficit. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, we'll start our business representative position.
There's all these.
You can just leave the form there, yeah.
I left mine there.
Quickly, quickly.
Oh, so much stuff.
Leave it up there.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, when you're ready, you can start your 30-second opening statement.
Hi everyone. First off, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today and supporting the candidates and for making an informed decision. My name is Pritesh Pachchigar, and I'm running to serve as your next business faculty representative. During the 4 years of my undergrad at SFU, I've engaged in a large number of areas throughout the school. Therefore, I believe through my work and volunteer experiences at SFU, I've come to understand the various needs of many business students. Running as your faculty representative, I ensure that the voice of BD students will be heard, and I will build, I hope that I can build the confidence and trust to show that I'm the best candidate for this position. Thank you.
Okay, and since there's no one running against you, the IEC has prepared a question. So your platform has a few points saying that you will advocate for greater funding for business clubs and departmental student unions. Why do you think business clubs and DSUs need more funding than they already are given, and where do you anticipate this money coming from?
Thank you for your question. To answer the first question, first half of the question, or just 1 second. So as you know, business students are growing, and we have over 3,800 students currently. And so our student clubs currently are growing as well. So while I was an executive at Enactus, we had 110 students in the club. Within a year, we have 170 students. So each club is growing. And so in order to continue to grow, there needs to be support in terms of monetary and funding. And so I believe that working alongside the VP of Finance and looking at the budget and working alongside the VP of Finance, I can ensure that the fundings are allocated according to the clubs that need it. And yeah, thank you.
And I obviously won't rebuttal you.
Okay.
And is there questions from the audience?
Hello, good job so far. Quick question, it's in 2 parts. You described our budget. The question I have briefly is, how do you think of the way the SFSS manages money now as a business student?
Thank you for your question. So currently, from my understanding, the SFSS goes through a rigorous process of ensuring that the budget is allocated to the needs of the student body. And so throughout the planning stages, I believe that the SFSS currently addresses targets the needs of the faculties and the different, I believe, the different committees. And through that process of asking the students what is needed and asking the committee members what is required, the budget is formed, and that is followed throughout the entire year.
My question for you is, what are the duties and responsibilities of the business representative?
Thank you for your question. So first and foremost, the duties of a business representative are to ensure that the voices of the business faculty or the business students are heard. And so that's first and foremost. Second, I'd like to support our faculty student union, so the Business Administration Student Society, and that entails in the representation of this role. and also to support the business clubs and organizations for events, room bookings, and so on. And lastly, to build a sort of like a stronger community between the business clubs and the students that are that is currently being isolated. And so, as a business faculty representative, and my 4 years of experience working at SFU and on various different business clubs, I believe that I can put that forward and represent BD in a good way. Thank you.
Okay, and was there other audience questions? Sure.
Are you a beach business student?
So, hello, my name is Enoch. Hello again. So, since I can vote for you as a business student, why should I vote for you?
Thank you, Enoch, for your question. This one's very simple. So, I've been engaged in pretty much all the BD clubs since my first year. And so you should vote for me because of my experiences and my knowledge that I've gained throughout my 4 years. I've been engaged, I've been driven, I've practically just, for the most part, I've followed these 6 BD pillars, except being global, which I'll be continuing on next year. And so I believe through my experiences, I would be representing BD with confidence and ensuring that business students' voices will be heard.
Okay, and other audience questions? No? Okay, and you can move on to your 30-second closing statement.
Awesome. So firstly, I'd like to thank you all for your questions. I'd like to conclude by saying that my work and volunteer experiences at SFU over the past 4 years will be an asset for this role. I greatly believe that being connected together as a faculty will allow us to grow and make a larger difference in the community. I hope that I've built your confidence to trust that I'm the most suitable candidate for this position, representing the business faculty. Please make an informed decision and vote connected. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll move on to the communications representative, and then we'll go to the break. So just the communications and then a break. You can just fill out the waiver after at the end. So
okay.
It's all good.
Oh, right.
It's okay. You can start with your 30-second opening statement.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Prab Bassi, and I am running for the Faculty of Communication, Art, and Technology representative. As being an FCAT student that has classes on all 3 campuses, I have learned a lot about the student body and our need for a holistic environment. I think it's really important that we acknowledge that all our campuses are equally important. As being Chair and Chief Officer of Surrey Campus Committee, I've tried my best to mimic the services provided on Burnaby campuses. It is my goal to take my experiences to the next level.
Thank you. Okay. And the IEC has prepared a question for you.
Perfect.
Your poster says that you will advocate for FCAT-related issues. What is an example of one of these issues, and how will you address it?
One of the issues that I've run into is that FCAT has 4 different undergrad schools, and we always feel like we don't feel connected amongst each other. There isn't a frosh that is FCAT-wide, and as a student in FCAT, we feel like our work, especially in CIAT, is not displayed as often as we like to, opposed to the undergrad conference. And yeah, that is my answer.
Thank you. Okay, and audience questions?
I know you're getting sick of it. I'm sorry. What are the duties and responsibilities of the FCAT rep?
Okay. As an FCAT representative, like I said, our classes are very widespread amongst the 3 campuses, Vancouver, Surrey, and Burnaby. I feel like my duty would be to make us feel like we are all part of one same school. And I would like to do that by by planning a frosh, campus-wide frosh for new students as attendees and current students as mentors.
Thank you. Okay, and other audience questions? No? Okay. And you can begin your 30-second closing statement when you're ready.
Okay, Thank you all for attending our debate. I would like to acknowledge that our referendum questions are extremely important. Please vote in favor of those questions. And I hope that you guys all find me as a valid candidate for an FCAP representative and vote connected.
Thank you. Thank you. And with that, we'll go on to a 10-minute break. So it is 11:48, so by 12, we'll begin again. And we'll start with the referendum questions.
Thanks for coming out.
Okay.
So much fun.
Okay.
Woo!
I think we're all good, so you can start your 30-second intro statement whenever you're ready.
Great. My name is John Ragone, and I'm running for the education representative position. This year, over the last year, I've gotten really involved with the education faculty. I'm the president of the Education Student Association. I'm also the undergraduate representative on faculty council. And I've been working closely with Melissa, who's the current education rep, to create a smooth transition between what she's been doing and what I've been doing. And we've had a lot of overlap so that we can continue improving education engagement.
Thank you. And the IEC has prepared a question for you. Your platform states that you'd like to, quote, create greater professional program support from the Student Society so that their fees benefit them directly. Can you expand on what this means and what you would like to see support looking like?
Yeah. For example, the Education Student Association has the second largest funding of all student unions, and that's probably because of the PDP students, students going into professional development program to become teachers. Yet they are in their own little bubble and they don't really receive much in return directly for their funds. So one thing that we've been looking at this year is creating an award system with a portion of our funds to help give them support in the classroom to buy supplies. So it not only helps our membership, but it helps our education system, like in BC. So it's cool overlap there. I've been talking to Lauren Bark, who's one of the directors for PDP, to come up with new ways to, I don't know, just support them, encourage them. For example, creating like a little social in between classes for different modules to come together and hang out and get to know each other, because there's not always overlap between the modules as well. Thanks, Vanna.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll start with Curtis's audience question.
Hey, John. So your faculty doesn't currently have a faculty student union?
Yeah.
I want to know what your view is on establishing one for your faculty.
Yeah. So I've been in talks with Pierre, looking at the process of turning it into a faculty student union, because technically we're a faculty with a departmental student union, which doesn't make too much sense. There's a bit of bureaucracy that we need to go through first, and he's looking into it at the moment. I'm hoping that it's just a vote, and we need to vote as a student union to change it into faculty student union. But there might be a lot more work we need to do, and so I've been going through that over the last few weeks, even before nomination started. So that's just something that we need to have happen for the Education Student Association.
Thank you.
Thanks, Curtis.
And other audience questions?
What are the duties and responsibilities of the Faculty of Education rep?
Great, thank you. So a large thing for me is the Education Student Association didn't exist really a year and a half ago. So education students didn't have much representation with the Student Society. One thing that I really want to do is connect education students with the Student Society and the larger membership. Because of my positions, I'm able to communicate events and updates and resources to education students. And so by being involved with the Student Society, I want to take information I'm learning there, opportunities I'm learning through the Student Society, and bring that to my membership so that there's more involvement and engagement among education students. That's my main overall goal.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, great.
Just one thing for clarification first is that your DSU just wasn't around about 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago? All right, so my question is that now that you guys have a DSU, why do you think it's so fast that you need to transition to a faculty student union when you don't have the history of like the engagement of DSUs working with the students before transitioning to a faculty-wide student union?
Great, thank you. Well, the first thing is we're technically a faculty, not a department, so it doesn't make sense for us to be a departmental student union. The second thing is When I started at the beginning of last summer, there was 3 people. We are now at about 12 people attending regular meetings. We just hosted an event that had over 25 people come out. And so we're starting to pick up with our engagement. We have a couple hundred students who come into the education faculty every year. So we represent a large amount of students. And so it's important, the more resources we have and the more engagement we get, the more people we can reach out to, and the more engagement. It's like a snowballing effect, if you will. Even with over the last semester, we've grown by 1/3. And so the more people we have, the more we can do. And that's a big reason for me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any other audience questions? No? Okay, and you can move on to your 30-second closing statement.
Great. So just like connected, one thing that's important for me is continuity between what's been happening and what's going to happen. So that's not just my platform, that's all of Connected. We want that to be the thing for the Student Society this year. Continuance of the good things that we've already started. So vote for me, John Ragone, if you're an education student. If you can't vote for me, vote for Connected, because we have the experience and we have the understanding to make this thing work well. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And grab a pin if you don't have one. That's true.
And next, I will call up a referendum question. I don't believe Schools Building Schools has a rep here. So Darwin for UPass. Okay, and you can start with your 30-second intro whenever you're ready.
Hello everyone, my name is Darwin Binesh. I am your current VP Student Services. I am the board's representative of this question for those of you who do not know. Your UPass is currently at risk. This referendum is to basically ensure that it continues. With this, there is a modest fee increase. You will pay an additional $1.50 a month consecutively for those years. Right now you pay $38 a month. Next year, if this passes, it'll be $39.50. In the final year, it'll be $41. If you do not vote, you will lose your UPass. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and we have a question for you. Why do you think students who don't depend on transit should vote yes to the referendum question?
I think if you don't depend on transit, you never know what will happen with your car. I think you never know, for example, if your car breaks down and you need to get from one place to another, well, having that transit pass will be very helpful. There have been times people will go out, they may have a drink or two at social events, there may be a vehicle involved. You know what? If you have that UPass, you have a safe way home, you know it. If you happen to lose your wallet one day, I've had this happen to some students I know, it's happened to me. You lose that wallet, you can't pay for the cab, that UPass, maybe if it's in the wallet, you're screwed. But if it's not and you keep it in your pocket or in a different piece like I do, you will be okay. No, in all honesty, I understand that a lot of people drive and they don't necessarily need the pass, but you get such a good deal on this program the way it is right now. You never know when you might need to, and it could really help you out.
Thank you. And other audience questions? Sure.
Hi. Could you be more specific what you mean when you say if you don't vote for it, you will lose the pass? Like, what are you implying?
Excellent question. So in order for this question to pass and be approved, a minimum number of students need to vote. It's 5% if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to lie to you. But I don't recall the number off the top of my head. And I'm getting 2 people giving me 2 different signals that I'm right and I'm wrong. So I don't know which one to believe here. There is a minimum number. Let's assume that it's the highest possible number. And that way we'll be the safest at the end of the day. If not enough people vote, even if it's a yes, it still doesn't count. So again, I'm pretty confident that students will vote yes because we have data that tells us almost 90% of students actively use their UPass. But if everyone thinks it's a safe bet that it's going to pass anyway, that they got nothing to worry about, and they decide not to vote for that reason, well, you know what? Then no one voted and the thing doesn't count, you lose the pass, and that would be very unfortunate. So what I mean is, if we don't hit that minimum number, it doesn't count. So let's make sure everyone votes.
Thank you.
Does anyone know what that number is?
Yeah, I thought it was 5%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, of the membership. I believe it's in the bylaws. Yes.
So
again, I can look further into that, but I know there is a minimum threshold of people who have to vote in order for a referendum question to pass.
So So for the sake of our campaign, we're assuming that it's like 20%. This helps us twice. First of all, it gets more people to the polls, which I think would be very beneficial. Secondly, it helps us make sure that we plan a campaign that will actually get approved at the end of the day.
How much is a normal bus pass right now? If we didn't have the U-Pass, how much would we be paying?
Depends on where you live and how far away you are. Typically, the 3-zone pass was $170. Currently, you pay $38. You save the difference.
Thank you. Okay, was there other questions from the audience? Okay, and you can move on to a 30-second closing statement.
For my closing statement, I'm going to address the candidates because most of the people who are here today are candidates. For all of you, a lot of you have many platform points. Describe what you want to do. But saying things and actually doing them are two different things. If you want to show students that you actually care about them, get behind a service that most of them use, that most of them rely on, and that saves them a lot of money. If you want people to take you seriously as a candidate, show them that you care about what they care about. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we do have Kathleen here for Schools Building Schools representative.
Hello everyone, my name is Kathleen Yang and I am the current Vice President External Relations for the Simon Fraser Student Society. I'm here to talk about the Schools Building Schools referendum question that was recently voted on at 2 Board of Directors meetings ago. So the issue was first raised with Schools Building Schools at a September Advocacy Committee meeting after much dialogue and at the committee table and with the organization Schools Building Schools. Both organizations have come to the mutual decision to cease the collection of all levies for Schools Building Schools.
Sorry, Kathleen, that's 30 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's it.
The IEC has a question for you, though. Can you expand more on the reason that SVS does not want to receive funding anymore?
So based on our correspondence with them, it was decided at their board meetings that they just were going to move into a different direction in regards to their funding. And that's why they decided to agree with us that removing the levy would be in the best interest of all parties involved.
Great, thank you. And was there any audience questions?
What was the specific referendum question?
To like the
read it
actual
out?
question? Yeah, I can get it. Oh, you have it? Yeah. Great, thank you. Sure.
I can also read it out.
Oh, you have it?
I have it right in front of me. Okay. Whereas Schools Building Schools, a Canadian registered charity, currently collects an opt-out levy of $1 per student from full-time SFU undergraduate students and 50 cents per term from part-time undergraduate students, which was voted upon in a referendum held in 2012. Whereas Schools Building Schools no longer wishes to receive financial support from the students of Simon Fraser University, and whereas the SFSS is unsatisfied with project and financial information provided by Schools Building Schools, are you in favor of authorizing the Board of Directors by ordinary resolution to cease the collection and remittance of any funds to Schools Building Schools on behalf of the Simon Fraser Student Society?
Thank you. Did we have any questions? Yes? No? We're good? Okay. And Kathleen, you can do a 30-second closing statement.
Okay, I would just encourage everyone to vote yes to this referendum question. Again, it is a mutual parting by both Schools Building Schools and the Simon Fraser Student Society. And I encourage everyone to vote in this election for all the candidates. Read up your platforms. 5% threshold is exactly what is needed in order for referendum questions to pass as per our bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Okay, and now we'll move on to our health sciences representative position. Hello. And you can start your 30-second opening statement whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, my name is Rajaan Garcha. I'm currently running for the health sciences representative position. As a health sciences student, I know that having good mental health is a major contributing factor to having a good, successful life throughout university. The way that this can be attained is by increased socialization, increased interaction, and having everybody get involved. With health sciences being such a small faculty, a lot of people are lacking that, and they need to be made more accessible to the opportunities we can provide them.
Thank you. Okay, and the IEC has a question for you.
Yep.
Your platform states that you will prioritize increased scholarships within the faculty by diverting unnecessary funds to ones that would benefit students as a whole. Have you identified these unnecessary funds, and if so, what are they?
Well, I've attended certain union meetings, and it's clear over there that they do have a lot of extra funds that are present to them. And since those funds they believe them as extra, and so what they tend to do with those is they tend to waste money on things that they don't need to waste money on, like buying things that are more expensive compared to ones that are less expensive, or they'll be hosting their meetings with like pizza parties every single time they meet. And with those kind of things, those are not necessary, they are not needed. Those kind of funds could be provided to giving you scholarships or bursaries or anything to help the actual health sciences faculty to succeed.
Thank you.
Hi. So you said you plan to engage with health science students.
Yes.
What are your plans, or what are you actually going to do to engage students? Like going to events, or I don't know, just
yes. So I would want to increase social events that occur in the health sciences department because, like I said, since it is a small department, there's not a lot of opportunities for students to come about and do that. I want to gain accessibility for students to the health sciences undergraduate student union, because with that, if you try to access it or any other clubs, it's really hard to find out their information, what times they're meeting, and things like that. So if those are more accessible to students, that could be potentially a way to make students more interactive. And with that, what we could do is we could build a sort of online database where individuals that are part of the health sciences department, starting from first years all the way to upper division students, could post any sort of club opportunities that they have or any sort of questions they have about certain classes and anything like that, so they can help engage each other and build a stronger community amongst themselves.
Thank you.
Hello, my question to you is, what are the duties and responsibilities of the health sciences rep?
Well, just like every other representative position, it's really important that we try to engage students and we try to hear their opinions rather than just talking amongst the departmental faculty members and seeing what they have to say. So we need to have one-on-one interactions with these students, and with these one-on-one interactions, we have to start at the most basic level, which is going to be the first-year students. We need to bridge the gap that's present between first-year students all the way up until upper division students, so that there's a stronger connection between these, so that the university as a whole, we can make it a better place, an exceptional place for students to be at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. My name is Larissa.
Hello.
Oops, sorry. Let the applause continue. Yay! Health sciences. So I'm the current health sciences rep. And then I just, in terms of what you said just now, I'm very in support of you saying mental health is important, accessibility is important, targeting first-year students is important. So thank you for saying that. I just had a question about something you also said earlier about the union and how I was curious to understand what this union is.
So I was talking about the health sciences undergraduate student union, and with that I thought that, well, I myself tried to access that as well, and online they have a website, but the website's link is broken. They say that the website has been moved to somewhere else, and even their Facebook page, there's not a lot of posts that I feel like have been updated there, so I feel like it's not as active. I want to push forward to make that union more active, so that the students get a chance to access any health science related issues that they need to talk about.
Yeah, so I have another question.
Yes.
So seeing as how the role of the health science rep requires a thorough understanding of Hasusu, so this is our only student union, we don't have any department student unions. So what involvement have you had? Have you attended any meetings? And what has been your favorite event so far?
Okay, so with that union, I actually have not attended any meetings. I was planning to attend them throughout this semester, but like I said, it was very hard to access them. And the main problem with the accessibility is that that's what I want to improve on for next year, because for the SFSS, I feel like it is their responsibility to make sure everybody is aware of all the events that are going on, all the opportunities you offer them. However, if you go and ask students, nobody really knows what's going on in the health science department. A lot of people don't even know this union exists because of the lack of communication that we have. So I want, as a faculty representative next year, I want to be able to make students more aware of the opportunities that they have with that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there any other questions from the audience? No? Okay, and you can start with your 30-second closing statement when you're ready.
Yeah, so as a health sciences department representative, I just want to advocate for all of the students and hear their voices and be able to see what they would like to see happen and the changes they want to see. If we listen to the students, that is only we are going to have to see change happen, because they are going to be the ones that are going to be looking for those chances to happen. I just want to tell you guys to vote, bridge the gap, and thank you for all of you guys for coming.
Thank you. Okay, and thank you. We'll move on to our science representatives. Okay, and you can begin with your 30-second intro statement when you're ready.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Dhesa, and I'm a second-year science student running to be our next science representative. My plan is to connect, engage, and build within the faculty to improve the undergraduate science experience. I will connect the Science Undergrad Society with the 11 DSUs to provide unity. I will engage students in the best research, co-op, peer mentorship, and leadership opportunities by establishing an undergraduate science engage program, and I will build the Science Common Room. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. My name is Tomas Rapaport, and I'm running to be your science rep. The reason I'm running is because I've been heavily involved in the Science Undergraduate Society and various departmental student unions over the past couple of years, and I feel that this experience has given me a sort of grassroots experience and upbringing within the science community, and I feel I have a straight connection to the DSUs, and I know what they want and need. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and you can pose a question.
So as I've heard, Thomas, you are part of the Science Undergrad Society, and the role of a third-year representative is to inform students and to improve involvement. But since your term in the position, the involvement of science students has decreased, as evidenced in SFSS elections, where the candidates have dropped from 6 to 2. And as well as the Science Undergrad Society elections, in which many representatives are running unopposed, and nothing has been done to change that. Since you were unable to complete the fundamental and simple role of the position, how can students trust you to take on the opportunities of many other roles as a science representative?
Thank you for asking the question. The issue there, though, is that the premise of the question is false, because I was elected to increase the participation of science students within the Science Undergraduate Society, and last year during the election there were only 6 candidates, and this year there were 16 candidates, and all 11 positions are going to be filled because all 11 positions have someone running for the position, whereas last year the vast majority of the positions went completely unfilled. So yeah.
Thank you. And a rebuttal?
Yeah, I do agree that the involvement has increased because the formation of it's the second year of the formation of the society. But what I don't agree with is that the involvement hasn't increased significantly enough, especially within SFSS where it has decreased. But that is not your role. But what I found was that to make sure that there was unopposed candidates is important, and to do so, what I actually did was when I heard there were so many unopposed candidates, was that I held an information session with a few friends and a bunch of other people, and I found that 3-4 people were eager to sign up, and I believe 4 people did sign up. So I think it can be improved the way that we do market and involve and engage students.
Thank you. And you can pose a question?
Sure. Given the uttermost importance of departmental student unions, as you mentioned, the 11 departmental student unions within the Science Undergraduate Society, what DSUs have you been involved in, and how do you feel that those experiences will help you represent all DSUs and all science students?
Well, as an undeclared science student, I took time to take part in many DSUs. I did visit many DSUs, and I did spend time in the MBB student union as well as the BPK student union, and we got to work on a couple of projects, and I found that there was a gap between the Science Student Society, Science Undergrad Society, and the DSUs, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bridge that gap. Thank you.
And a rebuttal if you choose?
I guess while you were involved in these DSUs, no, that would be a follow-up question.
Okay, thank you.
Never mind.
And is there audience questions?
Thank you. My question's for Jimmy. With your initial question, you tried to hold Tomas accountable for something that was a team thing and a society thing. If you're elected, will you hold yourself accountable for the board's shortcomings?
Well, as stated in the Science Undergrad Society brochure, it is the job of the third-year representative to bring up the involvement in the SUS and within the science community, and that was a specific role. And though it is a team effort, it is also a team failure, but that can be collectively put upon everyone. So I will say that I wouldn't hold myself accountable, and I do not hold Tomas accountable for all any shortcomings, and I do hold the team accountable, and if I did, I do apologize. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys, good job so far. My question is on behalf of the current science rep. His name is Jazz Hands. He had to go to class, so he just asked me to send this to you on his behalf. So the question comes in 2 parts. First of all, what do you think is the role of the board? That's question 1, that's part 1. Part 2, considering the current direction of the board and possibly removing the position you're currently being elected for, what do you think of that in line with your understanding of the role of the board? Thank you.
I'll start.
Who goes first?
Okay. What I think the role of the board is to advocate on behalf of the students and to understand the issues that the students are facing and to listen to these issues and to further engage and involve the students. And the second part of the question, in terms of the position, I believe that if we do have a large involvement, there should be, every single position should be there, but if the involvement is low, as in terms of this year, where we only have 25 people running compared to 42 last year, then the necessity for people to run unopposed, I don't think that's there. And I think that there should be bylaws put in place in which if there is not enough involvement, then we could decrease the roles that are required.
Thank you.
So as far as the role of the board goes, I view the society, well, it's not my view of the society, as what the society is. It's owned by all of the members, and it's the members that pay the board stipends, it's the members that tell the board what their jobs are, and so I see students as the sort of boss in this scenario, and I believe the board's job is to respond to the needs of their bosses and follow the boss's directives. In order to do that, they need to engage with their boss and ask for feedback and make sure that they're aware of what their expectations are. As far as the position of faculty representative, I mean, I don't know what's been going on with the policy reform, the stuff behind closed doors, but I know that I've been very involved in the Science Undergraduate Society, and that the idea is to merge the Science Undergraduate Society president with the faculty representative, and they're 2 very different positions. One is stipend, one isn't, and so all those issues would need to be worked out before abolishing the rule.
Thank you.
Before Jazz, I served as science rep as well. One of the biggest things that came up when I was science rep is science is the second biggest faculty at SFU, which is exciting. But at the same time, we have 11 very active student unions in addition to the Science Undergraduate Society that was formed in my term as well. How would you balance that alongside all the board priorities that come alongside being a board member and a faculty of science representative?
Well, I feel that in order to listen to what all the DSUs have to say, it's important to have strong communication with every DSU, and that means incorporating with communicating with their executives, and as well as communicating that to the Science Undergrad Society to have a strong voice and have unity. I think unity is important within the science faculty because we are so diverse and so immense, and we have so many departments. So to collaborate and to unify is very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
So as I mentioned, I view my my election as a grassroots effort because I'm very involved in the DSUs and the FSUs. I've helped the Science and Graduate Society grow, and I will continue to attend Science and Graduate Society meetings. I will continue to have my lunch every Wednesday at 12:30 at the Biology Student Union like I've been doing for the past several years. And doing that will give me a one-on-one interaction with a lot of science students and will help bridge the gap, as they so eloquently say, between the board and its memberships. Thank you.
Thank you.
What are the duties and responsibilities of the Faculty of Sciences rep? I know.
Well, first of all, the main duty of the Faculty of Science representative is to listen to all the voices of the science students, the student unions, and the faculty union, and further engage and involve the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
So another point on the, I guess everyone's just been reading the bylaws, but another point on the bylaws is that the faculty representatives have to serve on committees. I believe it's 2 committees. And so I would serve, on top of doing all the other tasks that everyone has mentioned, I would serve on the space allocation committee because I do want to start, improve study space and have a science undergraduate common room. And I would also continue to serve on the granting committee because it's a lot of fun and you'll get to learn a lot about the society's finances. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there other questions from the audience? No one? Okay. And you can begin with a 30-second closing statement when you're ready.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd like to say that if I'm elected, I will implement my entire plan and also further engage and involve the students within the science faculty. And I think everyone should make an informed decision, as well as voting for the referendums, because those are very important and crucial, and saving our UPass is very important. And furthermore, I'd like to say bridge the gap, and if you cannot vote for me, vote for everybody else in my party. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So just as I've been mentioning, I think this is a team effort from all the DSUs, from all the FSUs, from the slate, the connected slate that we're working towards. We have a really talented group of individuals that have been heavily involved in the SFSS and at SFU for a while now, and I highly encourage everybody to just vote for the whole slate. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that was our final position because unfortunately no one ran for environment representative. There's more buttons up here if anybody wants to grab them. And tomorrow we have our executive debate, same place at 2 p.m. So I would really hope that I see all of you there again and prepare your questions for each other. And yeah, thank you so much for coming tonight and being respectful, and hopefully we can do it again tomorrow the same way. Thank you.